So there's this interesting piece of psychology that I tend to see play out with people. And in particular, in relation to the weather, I've noticed it the last few weeks. Because in the UK, if you live here, the weather's been pretty shit, particularly for what's supposed to basically be summertime now. And of course, we've had lots of rain and grey skies and all the rest of it. So then what happens today is we finally get what appears to be summertime. It's like, oh shit, the sun's out now. There's limited cloud in the sky relative to what we've had. The weather's warm, and now it's time to go and enjoy ourselves. So what everyone's saying is, okay, well, now that the weather's here, I can finally start enjoying the summer. Now, if I have to be totally honest, which I should always be because I live by a code, I was kind of the same. It's like, fuck me, the sun is finally here. I can finally start enjoying the summer. But the problem we have when we wait for things to happen outside of us, or expectations to take place outside of us, before we go ahead and do the thing that we actually want, or create the result that we want, well, then we're constantly going to be a victim of external circumstance. So if it's a case of, oh, now the summer's here, I can finally enjoy myself, well, why the fuck couldn't I enjoy myself prior to the summer being here? Because, as we know, the weather in this country is pretty fucking unpredictable. So if the weather's so shit and unpredictable, that would mean that my happiness is unpredictable also, particularly if I'm going to base my happiness on the arrival of the weather that's required in order for me to be happy. Now the catch is with this is, oh, okay, well cool, that's just one thing, is summer, generally speaking, I'm pretty happy, so it's not that big a deal. I was just, I prefer it when the sun's out. And that's the kind of general story from people. But the catch is we play the same game in the rest of our lives. But we do it on a much bigger scale, and a scale that tends to impact us much more in the long run. Now what I mean is, for example, in body, it's a case of, oh well, once I've got the body I want, then I'll have the confidence I need to do X, Y, Z. Once I make the money I want, then I'll be able to have the life that I could desire. I'll then be able to afford it. Oh, once I find the partner I need, then I can have the fulfillment, the connection, the intimacy, etc. that I want. And it's like, hang on a minute. Everything that you want at the moment appears to be on the other side of you, relying on this external influence. Now the catch with that is, if you're constantly trying to get your needs met from an external stimuli, is very likely you're going to spend a lot of time feeling unfulfilled, feeling unhappy, stuck, and wanting more, and always feeling like you've never quite got enough. You've never quite at the point that you actually need to be in your life, because this thing outside of you hasn't yet happened. I can't start living until. I can't be happy until. I can't be confident until. And obviously the catch with that is, these are just energetic states of being. So they're feelings, obviously, like confidence is a feeling, it's a sense of being. And the same with happiness, fulfillment, joy, or anger, or any of the emotions. Ultimately, they're a feeling state that we can manifest in any given moment. Not necessarily dependent upon an external thing. Yes, the external thing can, of course, contribute to that, but it doesn't have to be the sole driver of whether this particular feeling state is experienced or not. And this is the catch. What we often don't see when we're setting health goals and so on. So, oh, once I've got my body, then I'll be confident. Or once I've got my body, then I'll have the energy. And it's like, the truth is, 9 times out of 10, you can actually have the feeling state that you desire long before you have the physical outcome. That's not to say you shouldn't chase the physical outcome, because of course a healthy physical body is much better than an unhealthy one that's overweight, that's tired, lethargic, worn out, etc. But often there are ways we can already feel confident, or ways we can already feel happy, fulfilled and joyful, even with the unhealthy or the overweight body. As I just mentioned, not recommending you keep that, but we can have many of the things that we want, the internal experience, we can have long before we have the physical outcome that we often think that we need in order to have that inner state shift that we're trying to get, so that we actually feel better. Because ultimately, yeah, we want to look better, but why? Well, I want to look better because ultimately we want to feel better. Because we're not happy or completely fulfilled or satisfied with the current state that we have. So that's just a little something for you guys to ponder on today. Yes, we do need to obviously make some shifts. Yes, sometimes it's easier to have a happier experience or a better experience when an external circumstance is in a particular way. But when we lead ourselves to rely on that in order to have that inner experience, well then unfortunately we're often just going to find ourselves lacking relative to where we actually want to be, because we're relying on these things, these places, these people, the weather, or whatever it might be, to be a particular way before we'll actually allow ourselves to enjoy it. And that's the key word, before we'll allow ourselves to enjoy it, rather than actually just deciding, you know what, I'm going to make the most of what I have right now, because that feeling state that I require or that I desire in this moment, I can actually produce it regardless of the things that are going on outside of me. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Any questions, drop a comment, and if not, I look forward to chatting with you guys in my next video. Take it easy, people.